In this video for the Xoro 7515 we want to talk a little bit about the PVR recording features. What we mean by that is this particular box is what's called PVR ready, and what that actually means in turn is that with the addition of an external hard drive or USB memory stick, you can utilize some recording features on this particular box. Okay. What I should say before we go on is that we always recommend using an external hard drive rather than a memory stick. Memory sticks can be a bit hit and miss for some technical reasons, and their lifespan generally isn't as good if you're using it a lot. Okay. The next thing then is, if you are actually using a USB powered hard drive, is to use one as small as possible, as in capacity. We generally recommend a 250GB or 320GB, something like this. Okay. The higher up you go with USB powered hard drives, is you can run into problems in that not just this particular box, but any PVR ready receiver we sell or where you may buy elsewhere, there just won't be enough juice coming out of them to power the larger ones. Okay, so you should always try and use the smaller ones, and again we recommend a 250 or 320GB, something like this. Okay, the one thing you can be assured of is if we're selling it on our site, we have tested it with all our boxes and we know it works. Okay, so you can be assured from that point of view. If you have other makes or models or sizes at home, they may or may not work. We can't guarantee that, but the ones we sell do work with our boxes. Okay. The next thing to know is if you have a larger one at home, for instance, say a terabyte or something like this, and it's mains powered rather than USB powered, it may or may not work either. The issue won't be with the power this time because it's mains powered, but the issue may be with the size. The PVR ready receivers get a bit more hit and miss, you know, recognizing these larger drives as the size goes up. Okay, so as I say, the ones we sell, 250s, 320s, things like this, the ones we have on our site, we have tested with all our boxes and we know work, so we can't guarantee any other ones. There's just so many on the market, you couldn't possibly test them all. But in general, if you use a lower capacity USB powered drive or mains powered one, it should work okay. So we'll just get that all out of the way first. So just to record, all you have to do is simply, you're on the channel, this is just a live recording, so there's something on and I think, oh, I like that, so I'm going to record that. So all you have to do, in the bottom right, your remote control, there's a button there that has a red dot on it, and that's the record button. Just press that and it'll say enter record waiting. Now obviously I have an external hard drive plugged into the front USB port on the Xoro 7515 currently. Okay, so you can see there it starts recording away. So what I can do now is I can actually switch to a different channel. So you can see there I've just switched over to RTE News now. So the reason I'm talking about this is, in the future this won't be possible. Okay, and the reason why this would be is that in the future, at a time unspecified, and we're not aware of when this will happen, is RTE are going to turn on extra multiplexes, and what this means that in the future you're going to need a twin tuner box to do what I just did, as in record one, watch another. Okay, so the Xoro 7515 is actually a single tuner receiver. Now I'm talking in November 2012. We just have no idea when these are going to get turned on. It may be sometime in 2013, but it's just to be aware that in the future, you know, so you can be fully informed what's coming down the line, and it'll help you, you know, inform you to make your decision when you make your purchase. Now obviously the big advantage of buying a single tuner box is that they're far cheaper than a twin tuner box. Okay, so just to give you an example of, you know, just say you're only interested in light recording, as in, you know, maybe occasionally you're going to record a film you're watching or something like that, or perhaps you're only going to start recording stuff when you're not there, things like that. Then single tuner box is, you know, it's grand for you basically. Or if you're just not interested in recording at all, you know, single tuner box will suit you fine. But if you are going to be using it for more heavy duty recording, or trying to watch one, record another, things like that in the future, again at a time we're just not sure when this is going to happen. There's been no announcement, and again I'm talking in November 2012. You know, what you call it, you might have to look at a twin tuner box, but again the cost is the disadvantage of that one. So just to stop your live recording, all you have to do is press the stop button. It'll ask you, do you want to stop recording, and you say okay, yes. and that's it then. So that's that recorded. So the next thing to look at then, that's all well and good if you're just recording something you're looking at, but how do you set something you might want to do in the future? So to do that, you go into your EPG, and the EPG button is in the top left of your remote control. So just for argument's sake, I'm going to say that I want to record, let's see from that list there, we're going to record Nuacht, okay, on RTE1 there this evening. So what you want to look at here now is in the bottom left, there's a button that says, on the screen, it says OK book, and you press OK. And what that means is basically I want to record this program. So it all gets set up by default for you. So you can see it's a TV channel you want to record. Could be a radio, but it's TV. Channel number is 1, channel name is RTE1, the start date is then, the start time is set for you, the end time is set for you, repeat once, which just means I just want to record this program, that's it, and mode is record. Now I'll just talk about some of the other options you could have here. Within mode, and I'm using the left and right arrows on the remote control, you could also say view. Now what this will do is basically it set a reminder to watch the program, okay? What it'll actually do then at that time, 17:45, it would flick over to RTE1 for you to watch that program, and probably have a reminder on screen saying, you know, this event has been notified, something like this, and then flick you over. But we want to record in this instance. The other thing you can do is use the repeat. You can do once daily and weekly. So there are your options there, so you can see the advantages of that. Now this is just a little tip, and this just isn't applicable to the Xoro 7515. This would be applicable across a whole range of boxes, not just ones we sell, but any ones that are on the market. There's, for two reasons, for the most part you can actually accept the time that's given, and that's fair enough, but you may want to just buy yourself a bit of leeway. What we've seen from loads of boxes we've tested from various manufacturers, sometimes there can be a plus or minus 30-second lag or lead in the time. So, you know, you might want to buy yourself an extra minute at the start and end of the program. But the main reason why you may want to change this a little bit is, just for example, you know, a lot of programs occasionally don't start at the exact time that they're actually supposed to. And certainly there are instances where programs end later than what they were advertised, okay? i.e. in the case of a match that was on. Just say you wanted to record one and you were recording a game and the program was 2 hours long or something like that. But just say it went into extra time or something like that. Well, you're going to miss part of the extra time. So in this case what you could do, what I tend to do, if it's just a normal program, generally it won't be out by much, but just to buy myself a little bit of leeway, I normally go 17:44. And the end time I would add a minute as well, and I'm just using the number buttons on the remote control to do that, okay? So that's just a handy thing, because even with the best will in the world, and it's not just on generic boxes or free-to-air boxes, combo boxes, things like that, even with Sky, UPC, the amount of times now, you know, I've had them over the years, and you go to record something and the program doesn't start at the right time, or it ends at the wrong time or something like that, and it just cuts. You know, you miss the end or the start of a program or something like this. So it's always a good idea just to buy yourself a bit of leeway, as I say. It's just an extra bit of insurance. So that's basically it. So once you have that done, you just press the OK button and it adds it into your schedule then. So just say for argument's sake then, I had something scheduled that I just wasn't interested in anymore. I can just highlight it there using the arrow buttons and press the blue button to delete it. And also, I'll show you another way you can get into the timer menu. I'm just going to exit out of that now. I'm just going to hit exit a couple of times and get out. There's a button in the bottom right of your remote control called timer, and if you press that, it brings you straight into the timer menu. You don't have to go through the EPG. And what you could do is just add a timed event. So what you could do is you could say, I'm going to just say, for argument's sake, channel 6, and start time, I'm going to make it 10, using the number buttons, and let's say it ends at 10:30 or 10:39, something like that, whatever you want yourself anyway. And I want to repeat it once, which means just record that, and mode is record, and that's basically it. And then I just press OK, and it's added into my timer list, and that should record later on then at 10 o'clock, that particular program that's on RTE News now. And just to get out of that then, it's just hit the exit button and you're back to live TV. So that's basically it, just a little bit about the PVR recording features on the Xoro HRT 7515.